Good morning, packaging community. What is your friendly neighborhood packaging today hosts? I'm Adam Peak, People Packaging Podcast. This is
Oh,
introduce yourself, sir.
Corey Connors,
Thank you.
the host of the Sustainable Packaging Podcast.
Co-host.
Just
Co-host.
happy to be co-host. We're both hosts, we decided.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot
Yeah,
about this. We've had
yeah.
the conversation.
We
My
promoted each
apologies.
other. Brody is a host. I'm a host. It
Yes,
makes it so much easier.
I will rewind. Host.
Host of the Sustainable
Sustainable
Packaging
Packaging
Podcast. Right.
Podcast. Well, today is Thursday, February 13th. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, which, as we all know, is a day created by Hallmark to sell more paper-based gift
It's
cards.
a day of love, Adam. It's a day of
It
love.
is. You know what I did? And this was super romantic of me, is I went to the grocery store and I was there with my wife and I found a
is
very
romantic.
lovely card
Oh,
and I read it and I went up to her and I said, "Read this." She's like, "Oh, it's very sweet." And I was like, "Thank you." And I put it back on the shelf.
you saved $4. Don't tell Hallmark about this tip because
I
that's
won't.
a great idea.
I won't. Thank you. But that is tomorrow here in the United States of America. Hey, if you are watching, please drop us a comment, ask a question. And today we are going to be talking about the age-old question, which will continue to be debated for all of infinity.
Yes.
Is
Aluminum.
paper versus plastic. If you grew up in the 1900s, like Corey and I did, you'd get asked that at every grocery store, right? Do you want paper? Do you want plastic? And we're still asking that question today. Oh, Chris says
that's
happy
right. Galentine's Day.
Galentine's.
That's
This
another
is,
holiday. I love this holiday.
tell me about this one.
I believe, and I'm not a gal, so I
You're
can't.
you're gonna mansplain this, aren't you? You're
I,
mansplaining Valentine's Day, Corey.
I'm doing my best. No, I'm doing my best. Out of respect for all the gals, this is a special day when they get together and have a party to celebrate their friendships and their love for each other and their all the good
Amazing.
things about being friends as a group of gals, which I think
Love
is
it. Well, then happy Galentine's Day to all of the gals. So I saw this post posted 17 hours ago by Shervin Demoved. I hope, Shervin, I'm pronouncing your name correctly. And I commented on it. It says most consumers see this, which is these down here, plant-based straws. It says yes, they're compostable. No, they don't use plastic. And they see this and they think plastic free is great.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't be the case. Chacha Matcha did the right thing by exploring a, quote, more sustainable alternative to plastic straws. But they, quote, was added by me. But they completely greenwashed their claims. I guess, quote, was added by Shervin. That eco product straw is still made of PLA, polylactic acid, I believe is what PLA stands for, which is a form of plastic, while Chacha explicitly says, no, it's not plastic. This distinction is very important because consumers are more likely to overuse straws if they see plastic-free. The answer: explain your sustainability stance to customers clearly. If you're overselling the claim by lying, it's probably not the right product. So, Corey Connors, what say you about plant-based straws being plastic or not plastic?
I think we have to look at where they end up and the availability of composting industrially is not very common. In Oregon, where I live, they will not accept packaging or quote unquote compostable plastics yet,
Correct.
or still, because they cannot sell it as organic compost. Um, so is your question, is this better than
Well, is it plastic?
plastic? Oh,
I
is
think
it
the question
plastic?
is PLA plastic?
I mean, it is plastic, but it's not based off of fossil fuels. And I think that's where people get excited about that. They think it's better for the environment. And I would have to agree with that. So, on a life cycle analysis, if you're looking at this material, it's better if both of these are going to end up in the landfill. this is the better alternative, um, which is probably what's going to happen, right? So
Yeah.
it is a
Hassam
step in the right direction.
agrees with you here. He says PLA anyhow needs to be separately collected, which it isn't. So that was your point. And also with a comment here, paper versus plastic. IMHO, in my humble opinion, is a distraction to consume or not to consume. That is the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't use straws. I don't like them. I think they're annoying. I get upset when waiters bring them and drop giant piles of them, which is very common where I live.
yep,
Uh, no, we don't need these. Take them back. Put them back in your apron and give them to somebody only when they need them.
right.
Um, because how my question is, it's like that when you get silverware, plastic utensils in a delivery order or in a to-go thing that you didn't ask for. You're going home where there are
Right.
metal forks and spoons and knives. It's a
Yep.
waste. It's
Yeah.
unnecessary.
I think so on a high level, and I really like this idea of like just give them what it makes better. It's better for the environment. It's better for your costs.
Hmm.
Just ask the question: do you need silverware,
Right.
and do you need a straw? It's pretty simple, and it saves you money. John Gregory is on Team Corey.
Yep.
Hashtag straws suck. Which you know what they do
Literally.
literally.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey-oh, um, but from a large perspective, I think that where my mind went was this claim that says like plant-based straws don't use plastic. And I think it's helpful for people to realize plastic is a big, large term,
Hmm.
similar to metal. So it'd be like saying use aluminum. It's not a metal. It's like, no, it's part of the metal family.
Right.
PLA is part of the plastic family.
Right.
There's all sorts of ways to derive plastic. There's corn based, which is what PLA is. I've never actually run an LCA, and I would be really curious to see the difference between fossil fuels, which do come from the ground. It is a renewable resource in one sense, or corn based, because I don't know if you've ever seen a thing of corn, but it's probably pretty tough to turn that into a plastic straw. And I don't know what that process is.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned a couple, maybe it was a couple days ago about BOPP, which we learned stands for biaxially oriented polypropylene labels. The feedstock of those can be from cellulose. So
Mhm.
it's a bit of a misnomer to say this is not plastic. Similar to
Right.
paper, there's all sorts of different feedstocks for paper.
Hmm.
There's from carbon capture paper to
Yeah,
we
we call
talked
it tree free, right?
free
Yep.
paper. There's paper from fossil fuels. I mean, there's paper from bamboo and from hemp and from tree. There, it's all part of the paper family. So that's how I think of PLA. Whether it's Sway, which is doing some cool stuff with seaweed, it's
Yep.
still plastic. And I know plastic is a bad word, and maybe there's some rebranding around it.
Hmm.
But the idea of plastic is it's going to do some really cool stuff. And basically, PLA is saying we do the cool stuff that plastic does. We just don't use fossil fuels. That's basically the story.
Yeah. I really like what Husam said. It's a consumerism thing. Do you really need a straw? Do you really need it? I mean, come on. Can't you just drink? Can't you just pick the cup up a couple more inches and drink it out of the cup? It's such a silly thing. It's become such a commonplace thing. And if we would just ban straws, and you can bring your own. You can buy a reusable straw. They're inexpensive. They're easy to carry. They have collapsible ones. They have all these really cool metal and bamboo and even plastic is a good reusable material
Yeah.
if used properly. Like Avelio always says, he's had the same straw that he got at a restaurant for like 3 years now, and he just uses that straw. And it's such a simple concept. I think we need to get into a mindset of reusables.
Yeah. And I think there are certainly policies that would have to enforce that. And that's the difficult thing is is to change somebody's behavior is very difficult on an
Yeah,
individual level.
right.
On a collective level, it becomes very, very hard.
Hmm.
And I do sometimes question the what do we do? We sue a lot. What's that word? Punitive.
Yeah.
And so, if somebody brings in their own straw to an establishment, it's not very well cleaned, and then they drink whatever it is and they get sick. I think that that's also a problem with reusability for like coffee cups and things like that. Is there's a level of risk that is assumed by the company, which is why I think plastic straws are often given is, well, we gave them a safe way. We
Yeah.
gave them clean utensils. We gave them a plastic straw. They can't sue. They could sue, but they're not going to win. Whereas if it's like, no, we didn't give it to them. Well, can you prove that the contamination didn't come from your thing? So
Right.
I could see some punitive nature to that, which is sort of where it cuts the other way and is
It's
the
sad,
difficult thing.
but
It
true.
is sad, but it just this is the struggle that I think brands have between sustainability and legality. Final comment here from our good friend John Gregory. A challenge with PLA is that it's temperature sensitive and requires a lot of energy to produce. So
Yeah.
it is generally more expensive than traditional plastic feedstock. Great
Yeah.
point, John Gregory. Um,
I want to talk real quick, Adam, before
yeah.
we call it good. You posted yesterday about reusable or refillable coffee cups in
Yes.
a coffee establishment. My thought is, what if the coffee shop could use a reusable coffee cup during the production process, during the brewing and mixing and all that, and they give that to you, you dump it into your cup, and then they wash that one that they just filled.
Yep.
You know, rather than a paper cup, which I'm sure is what they used, and then that goes into a plastic lined garbage can that will spend eternity in a landfill.
Forever. Yeah, there's certainly ways to do it. I think, my particular example, and people did comment and said, this isn't what it's supposed to be used for. You order ahead, you show up, you give them their cup, they make the drink, they pour it in there, and then away they go. This was at an airport. This is at the Dallas Love Field Airport. And the sign, you don't really see the sign until you get there.
Hmm.
And it's like, hey, if you have your own cup, which plenty of travelers have, let your barista know. And it's like, well, it's too late at that point.
When?
I
Right.
mean,
When was I supposed to do that? Right.
yeah, so, of course, I can take my own cup and I can pour it in, and then I can throw this, like you said, in a plastic lined garbage can. The idea of reuse is awesome.
Yeah.
And Hassam here brings us up as well. You can create a deposit return system for reuse systems to overcome cleanliness and washing and free
Yes.
advertisement. It's exactly what you were talking about as well, Corey. Maybe you should, connect with Hassam. Sounds like
Yeah.
you and Brody
Let's
can
talk.
host a podcast together maybe.
Yeah.
Um but the idea of reuse, whether it's a straw or a coffee cup or utensils, is not as simple as, well, we just are going to have a reuse thing. Like, collection is hard.
Yeah.
Sanitization is also difficult. So if you're a pop-up coffee shop in the middle of a Starbucks, are you able to properly sanitize everything for reuse? Of course, they can with um, the carafes, right, that they use to steam the milk, but it's a constant problem of throughput
Yeah.
and sustainability, because what
Mhm.
you described would be awesome, except that now the line is going around the corner and out the door, and everyone's going to be late for their flight, and they're like, I don't want to pour it. Can you just give me a cup?
Yeah.
That's
You know who's having a lot of success in reusables is event venues.
hmm
And I'm speaking at the Green Sports Alliance event March 18th at Moda Center in Portland, Oregon about this. And I'm really excited to report
that's
on
amazing.
all the cool things that companies are using. Bold Reuse has their cups, which has diverted over 500,000 plastic cups from the landfill already, just at one location. How many sporting facilities are there across the world? If we could do this at every one of them, we could have a major impact on waste.
Yeah, no, I mean, sports,
Yeah.
concerts,
Yeah.
events, all that stuff. That's really cool. March 18th, you're speaking at that event. if
Yep.
you're up in Portland, that sounds incredible. You should
Yeah.
definitely go
Join us.
check that out. I will note that Jamal Murray had 55 points last night as the Denver Nuggets defeated the Portland Trailblazers. I don't know.
I don't want to talk
Uh,
about that.
at Ball Arena, which is a packaging company who has done well enough to own the naming rights to an arena. So shout out to Ball and Footprint down in Phoenix.
Mhm.
Also is a sustainable packaging company. So, well, Avelio's not here, but we are 5 minutes and 15 seconds over. Chris coming in at the last second. The hotel stayed at in Amsterdam provided
Yeah.
reusable water bottles. I
Very
also got
impressive.
this when I went to this is my humble flex.
Probably look
But
like this.
I
Oh,
got
yeah.
I got one of these reusable bad boys at COP28 in Dubai for the United Nations. No big deal. What is this?
This is city water from Amsterdam. It's a reusable container, and
Oh,
it
sweet.
comes with a carabiner on it, so you can put it on your backpack. It's really cool. Maybe this is what you saw, Chris. It's tough to see with the lighting here, but it's really beautiful, and it has like a cityscape of Amsterdam.
That's cool. Well, it sounds like I have to go to Amsterdam. Me,
Yeah,
Corey, Chris, we're just going to go hang out, ride bikes in Amsterdam,
yeah.
and check out all the cool stuff they have there.
I'll be there in November for Packaging Europe's Sustainable Packaging Summit.
Can't wait for you to. I'm so. What is that? I love that for you. That's the new phrase.
Yeah.
Well, hey, tomorrow we'll have pack of the week. Please, anybody, tag us, or else we'll just end up talking about Salsa Queen labels versus in mold labels. But we would love to talk about things that you want to talk about, not just what we want to talk about. So please tag us on your post, hashtag pack of the week or hashtag POTW, or just say, Adam and Corey, this is my packaging of the week. Please talk about it on your show. We'll probably talk about it tomorrow. Every day right here, Monday through Friday, Packaging Today show. Oh, did I play the intro?
No, is it too late?
Oh my gosh, I never played the intro. Let's play the intro as the outro.
All
Thanks,
right.
everybody. Oh, and I'll do the end ad thing. I'm so bad at this driving thing. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Oh, we're still